Hey everyone, I am Raphi Salem, back with William Kohl, president of F1 IT, and today we have with us Maritza Duran of MDent. Maritza, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, guys, for having me today.
Great, thank you
Good
for joining
morning.
us. William, you just got back from 2 days from the Greater Long Island Dental Meeting. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I met a lot of great people, both within the industry and local dentists here on Long Island. It was great to meet everyone. I feel like we have a lot to offer, and it was great meeting everyone
That that's
there.
really great.
Awesome.
So F1 IT is an IT company, and we can work remotely, not only all over the United States, but all over the world, actually. Um,
Very
but
nice.
it's always nice to be local, right, William?
Yeah, it makes things relative and easier, and we can talk about, hey, did you see the traffic on the LIE today? So, yeah.
Never good. And Maritza, you're also local. Are you based in New York?
I'm based in Long Island, Oceanside, so we are neighbors, and we have like a very interesting background with William. It's like we've known each other for many years, so it's great to be here, and I'm so excited for this opportunity to share this, time with you and have this conversation. I'm
Great,
excited.
great. So Maritza, you are the founder and CEO of MDent. So why don't you give us a little bit of your background and then tell us about the company.
Sure. So my focus with MDent is basically to help first-time practice owners or dentists who want to start practice ownership, whether they are considering a startup or doing an acquisition. And truly, my passion is to help them build the foundation to become both profitable and fulfilled first-time practice owners. I started my career in dentistry back in 1998, and I started like with no, like, if you were to ask me 20 some years ago that I was going to be having a conversation today with anyone and helping so many practices, I would just basically say that's crazy. That's something unheard of, right? Because I started my career as a clinical dental assistant, and I've really built and worked my way up from like clinical dental assistant to then front desk of a startup practice in 2004, and then I grew so much and learned so much within the practices because unlike a lot of office managers and consultants out there, I had a very unique exposure, which is the dentist that I was working for had a vision that I didn't comprehend at the time. I just became part of that journey with him. We started with one location, and over the course of 18 years, I helped him open 15 offices.
Wow.
So today he's a very successful DSO. He has 20 location and does multiple businesses. But I really, what sets me apart, I think, and the reason why I was inspired to start MDent, and I separated myself from the company back in 2016, 17, was the fact that I noticed that a lot of the dentists that were working as associates wanted to basically start and build their own practices, but they really didn't have the skills to do so or the guidance. So dental school teaches the skill of clinical skills, and in order for you to start a business, it requires a total different skill set. And personally, I'm struggling with that as I am now building my own company, growing my own team, like all the challenges of business, leadership, and all these things. But as far as the practical aspect of running a dental office, I had done it so many times for one individual that it was just like given to me. It was second nature for me to just, let's select us, let's choose the right location, let's go into that practice, and let's build a foundation for you to have a profitable dental practice and add value to the community, become a great leader, hire the right team. So that is, that's who I am, and that's my background. So I've worn many hats in a dental office. My theory, it's not, like my process is not theory. It's more like a proven system that I developed over the course of, 18 years, having done it so many times before I launched my company. It's like it's a very robust, like program that I have and the team that I have put together. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to help other dentists that are in a situation where they want to start their own practices and they don't know, where to start, basically.
So, William, you talk about this all the time from a technology perspective. Well, what would be your take on, having someone like Maritza in the industry where a dentist, can basically learn from not just the mistakes, but the successes. So, William, what's your take on that from a technology perspective?
I, from a technology perspective, there are parallels all over this. But as far as Maritza and all the consulting that she provides, it's incredible value there. There's really no substitute for experience, right? Like, you've been through it. You know what works and what doesn't. You've experienced the hurdles. Like, oh man, we ran into this. And of course, that took time, right? Like, you earned that experience. You went through it. I mean, how much, what price can you even put on that value when you can skip that whole point? I have the answers for you. Of course, not every practice is the same and everyone has their different goals and methods and everything. But Maritza, having built so many practices, I mean, you really can't compete with that.
So, Will, you've
a-
been doing this, yeah, for a long time also.
Right.
What would you say would be, some of the, like, very initial starting up a practice? What advice would you give to a dentist that's watching this right now, thinking about starting up their own practice?
I mean, the biggest single thing that you can do is really lean on the experts. There's so many people who have been through this. Again, like Maritza, like us, like F1IT, we've built, we've been part of building hundreds of practices, really. We've seen what works for certain goals, what works for certain practices, different things. We have those answers for you. Really lean on the experts. We've done it a whole bunch of times. We can walk you through all the hurdles that you may encounter, and that's really valuable to anyone starting a new practice. If you think about what Maritza said before, you go into dental school, you're a dentist, you're an associate at another practice. You're, of course, focused on your patients, focused on providing them with excellent care. But when it comes to running the business and going the ins and outs of all the administrative tasks, and even, on our side, the technology, you come out of dental school, I don't know what to do with this server. Like, how do you network things? What is cybersecurity? What is this firewall that I need to have? Will it protect my patients? What is it doing for me?
Right.
Let's come in with all those answers for you and guide you down that path for success and growth of your practice.
Right. So, Maritza, I'd like to think, coming off of a terrible time in history, a global pandemic. You said you started up in 2016.
My company, yes, I started in 2016. And I noticed and I've seen like all the changes that are happening with the economy. I do believe that history has a way of repeating itself. And so I compare a lot of what's going on now with, COVID and the economic crisis that is happening with what happened in 2008. And the market crash. I was running a dental practice. And to be completely honest with you,
Remember, this is being recorded, so be honest.
I am completely honest and transparent. Transparency is one of the core values of my company. And so going through, I was having this conversation with a dentist this week regarding changes that are happening on the insurance side and how it's affecting and impacting the dental practices. And there's this sense of like loss of hope because of everything that is happening now. People just want to get out of the insurance world, or they don't know it, like inflation is so difficult for you to start your own practice and for you to build it. Well, at the same time, I go back to 2008 and I say this, and there's a quote that I read: preparation is where success is where preparation meets and I forgot what it is, so we're gonna have to cut this off. And if you give me just a second, we can edit this out, right?
I can pause the video.
Pause the
How about
video
that?
because
So we have a quote from Maritza Duran. Maritza, go ahead.
So I read this quote: "Success is where preparation and opportunity meet." And this quote really caught my attention because I am always constantly having, as a consultant now, to have the discussion with clients and with dentists in general about how a crisis is both something negative, but there is an underlying opportunity that if you are prepared for it, you can definitely find that success. And so we're going through this, like economic hardships right now. A lot of changes are happening, but there are a lot of opportunities as well. And so we want to make sure that we understand how to prepare ourselves for these opportunities, because the expansion really took off for us as a company when I was working for that individual in 2009, after the market crash of 2008. And so there were a lot of challenges then. There were a lot of, difficulties with having to deal with insurances, with the workflow, workforce, and hiring people. We experienced a very similar situation, not as bad as now, because it was only impacted the United States back in 2008. However, it impacts businesses, right? And I noticed that the people that are always prepared and have a plan and have a map and have the guidance are the ones that are always taking advantage of the opportunities. And crisis also brings with it opportunity. And so my advice to doctors is to navigate through the challenging times, prepare themselves, will always work harder on yourselves than you do at your job, because there is always opportunity, and you just basically have to be prepared for it and plan, and have a plan, and have, the people to support you through this.
Right. So William, we talk about in technology, you shouldn't even know that we're in the background. Your technology should be set up so that everything is just working smoothly and seamlessly. How does one get started with their technology? Do they buy the computers? Do they talk to you? I know you said they should lean on the experts, but what's some hard 1, 2, 3 advice that a dentist should take away from being prepared?
Well, it depends what point of building or maintaining your practice you're at. For example, a startup. I mean, you can never be too early in marketing, right? You create a brand presence. We're in a digital world now. We're kind of a global society. Everyone has the quick answer of dentist near me, or all these advertisements that really speak to people. So even before opening a practice, own some amount of a brand identity. So I mean, that's of course somewhere to start. The technology that you want to integrate into your practice, that should really ultimately add to the goals of how you want your patient experience to be, right? You want things that are automated in a way that guarantees a consistent patient experience across the board. Speaking of things being invisible, it's not like there's not a ton of things going on in the background, but as F1 IT or IT in general, we wouldn't be doing our job right if you heard from us every day.
Or if you needed to call us every day.
Right. So, it goes along the same lines of being prepared, right? Maritza was stating the same in running the business, being proactive, right? We have security measures in place, of course, along the lines of compliance. Well, I mean, what is compliance if not risk management, right? So when something does happen, you're already prepared to, you have the evaluation, you have actionable items and ways to keep track of that, so you're not thrown off balance. Your practice continues being productive and continues offering patients the great experience.
Right. So Maritza, in
Mm.
terms of your company, Will and I we've talked with a number of people this year, and we sort of default to these categories of people, technology,
Mm.
financing, and all things related. Can you speak to that about where MDent is now in their consulting process, and what do we have to look forward to? What's upcoming for the company?
For my company. So when it comes to people, and are you referring to myself as a company, or are you referring to my clients?
I'm talking about both the people in your company and the people
I
that you
see.
serve.
Perfect. So as far as the people that we serve, I love working with young dentists that are starting out their families. Again, my focus is to help dentists who are planning on doing their very first dental practice ownership for the first time. And we have created a framework and a process that has been proven for a startup practice. And we basically are like your guide from the moment that you decide that you want to own a dental practice all the way up to the time that you are actively treating patients. And like William was saying, going through the entire process of building that brand, making sure that you have that clarity of where you're opening, the type of service and the type of culture and practice and business model that you want to incorporate, finding that location that is going to be in alignment with your, with that clear vision that you have, and keeping yourself accountable, keeping yourself in budget, making sure that you're working with the right people that have your best interest at heart and have the track record of having done it and made all of the mistakes to help you avoid. Time is money, and I think now more than ever, with the cost of running a dental practice just increasing by the day, you want to make sure that you select the right team of advisors from the get-go. And then you want to make sure that you hold yourself accountable and that you are proactive, like Will said, with the entire project, because it is something that is extremely important long term. And this is like your child, your baby. So we want to be that person. I had one of my dentists the other day. She's like, you remind me of my doula, but for my dental practice. And so she's like, oh gosh, I never really thought about this, but it's almost like someone that, like, when you decide to have your child, is like, you want to have the right diet, you want to protect yourself because you're doing this for your child. Is the same thing. And as far as the company, I mean, 3-4 years ago, it was me. I was basically the one doing all of the work for the clients, building that reputation and really delivering to my clients. Right now, it's like I'm so lucky because I have been able to put together an amazing team. With me, I have like a financial advisor with an MBA, and she has a history of like budget management for large institutions like Columbia University. And we basically take the entire project and help the doctors really budget, their operating costs, create break-even analysis, feasibility assessment, revenue projections. So it's almost like a blueprint for them to be able to have that location become successful. And then I work with them on helping them develop the leadership skills, hire the right people, negotiate the reimbursement with the insurance companies. So I've been able to, over the years, attract the right people to be a part or an extension of myself within the team. And now we're just basically created this program that takes a dentist from the dream of owning a dental practice all the way through like being $1 million practice within their first year in practice ownership. Wow. So it's very rewarding. We've helped over 300 dentists since I started my, company MDent, and the team keeps on growing, but I'm very selective. I don't like working with anyone. I think that culture is important. And now in this digital age where we are able to work remotely, we have to work with people that we trust. So the same thing that applies with consumers or dentists trying to find a team of advisors they can trust that have their best interest. Same applies for us as business owners trying to also work and hire and attract the right people to be an extension of ourselves so that our reputation continues to, increase instead of decline over time by delivering the best that you can do for our clients.
Amazing. Amazing. So just to wrap things up, if there was one takeaway that you would want everyone watching this video, what should really be the focus?
Don't reinvent the wheel. I think that, success leaves tracks. And, the law of cause and effect says that if you do exactly what other successful people do, you will definitely gain the same, results that they did. It has been done before. The type of practice that you want to do, and in the location where there are already people out there that have done what you want to do. You just have to find and replicate, and then create a network of people around you that will support you, that will guide you, and that will be an extension of your team to make sure that you avoid all the pitfalls and all the mistakes that are inevitable for you as a first-time business owner. I hire coaches all the time. I want to see what other successful, companies do, and I replicate what works, and then I avoid the things that I don't like from other companies. So you learn from everything, the good and the bad. But my biggest takeaway is just try to find the best people to work with, and be proactive, and prepare yourself, because there will be, in every crisis there is opportunity, and there is always crisis, and there's always opportunity. They come hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. That's great. William, just to wrap things up, what do you have? What do we have coming up? You just came from the Greater Long Island Dental Meeting. Any shows, trade shows, or events that people should be aware of?
Not immediately speaking, but we will be at the Greater New York Dental Meeting at the end of November again this year, and we look forward to meeting everyone there. But yeah, we continue to increase the level of service that we have for our customers. Again, sort of in line with what Maritza was saying. We're really truly invested in the success. Again, like she said, we are. It's rewarding, right? We have those values. We want to see your practice succeed, and it gives us joy.
Yes.
So again, surround yourself with the right people, and we'll see you there.
That sounds amazing. Maritza, any events coming up for the company or for you, or anything in the industry that people should be aware of?
Sure. So I have a couple of virtual events that I'm going to be either co-hosting, that, it's going to be around the realm of how to become a profitable, dentist as a first-time business owner. So I do have a webinar coming up next week on the 21st. I do have another live event, virtual event in June, and I'm going to have a live event in August. Also, that's going to be in California with 3M. There's going to be, like for billing for hygiene department. So it's going to be an amazing thing. And obviously the Greater New York here locally in November, I'm looking to also participate and perhaps have a live, a workshop for dentists who want to also continue to learn more about how to, build and start their own practices.
It sounds amazing. Please send us those links. We'll put it up with this video. This video goes up on YouTube and on social media, and we'll share your social media. And that way we will make 2022 as successful as possible. So once again, everyone, I am Raphi Salem signing off for F1 IT. Thank you, President William Kohl, for being the host of today's conversation, and Maritza Duran. Thank you very much. MDent Consulting. Check it out. What is the website for MDent?
It's mdentcs.com.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. And remember to smile on the way out.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.